Hey boys, it's HarmNone. Today we're going to be going over what to buy and what to avoid this week in Grand Theft Auto Online. For the first time ever on what to buy and what to avoid, we have the face cam here, as you guys can see. I did a vote on my community posts to see what you guys wanted, if you wanted the face cam or not, and what to buy and what to avoid, and it was 66% yes, 33% no. So if you're part of the 33%, I apologize to you, but you got outvoted, so that's what we're doing. So before we get into the video, consider dropping a like and subscribing if you guys are new. It really helps me out. I would appreciate it a lot. And with that being said, we got to go over the bonuses going on this week in online. Returning this week to Grand Theft Auto Online, we have the Judgment Day adversary mode, and we also have Christine as well as the Cerberus that will randomly spawn in and hunt you down while you're in GTA Online. So that's pretty cool. We also have the rest of the Halloween collectible stuff like the Lurcher and the Frankenstein and all that stuff available this week as well. But the most important thing that you're probably wondering about is how to make some extra money this week in GTA Online. Now we have double money and double RP on the Judgment Day adversary mode, as well as on document forgery sale missions through the MC businesses. So the document forgery stuff is going to be double money, which as far as a bonus goes, I mean, it's a bonus, but it's a business bonus at that, but kind of a bad one. But anyways, we also have double money and double RP on taxi work, and we have double money and double RP on the Halloween community series as well. There's also lightning going on randomly in GTA, and there's also UFOs that have been added back into the game this week as well, which is pretty cool, I guess. So as far as making money goes, document forgery, unfortunately, and somehow this week is going to be the probably best way to make money as far as a business bonus goes. Other than that, taxi work on double is not terrible. It could be way worse, that's for sure. Now for discounts this week, we have 100% off of any Halloween masks, so they're free this week if you guys are interested in getting any of those. And we also have the document forgery offices 30% off through the MC Clubhouse this week as well. So if you want to get a document forgery office, which I don't really recommend to be completely honest, they are going to be 30% cheaper this week. So if you've been holding out for one, now is going to be the time to pull the trigger on that. But I would advise the vast majority of you to not do that, because document forgery is not a very good business. And when it's not on double money and double RP, you won't even want to do it in the first place to begin with. So I'd say most people don't buy document forgery. And if you're going to buy the document forgery office, I would either recommend getting the cheapest location in Grapeseed or getting the one that I have, which is located right here in the sort of middle of Los Santos, just north of the town square here, as you can see right there. But I don't recommend buying it for the vast majority of you, so I would say honestly avoid purchasing it. And in case you're about to cope in the comments that like, well, I'm getting it for my nightclub basement, don't bother. Do not bother. If you're getting document forgery for the nightclub basement, don't bother. You're better off to just fill up the 5 most expensive products in the nightclub basement and just sell them as soon as possible and just rinse and repeat that. Don't bother with document forgery. It is a waste of your time. You could be making way more money in the nightclub faster by not partaking in the whole document forgery thing and just doing the 5 most expensive things. And as far as the MC businesses go, document forgery is the worst one, but it still has all the kind of bad sale missions that the MC businesses get. So not many benefits to owning it. I would advise actually almost everybody to not purchase document forgery. It is really, really not worth it. We also do have Arena War outfits 30% off, carrying over from last week, and I think the week prior to that even. So if you want any Arena War accessories or outfits or anything, feel free to buy them this week. They're 30% off, so I guess that's kind of cool. Starting off for the discounts this week on Elitist Travel, we have the Western Company Annihilator discounted this week. Don't buy it. It is a waste of your money. It's one of the slowest helicopters in the game, while being kind of cool, I will admit, and I really like the Black Hawk helicopter that it's based off of, but this thing is pretty useless. So I would say, yeah, don't buy one. It's a Pegasus vehicle as well. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't take it to your hangar. You can technically do that, and you can technically recolor it, I do believe. But other than that, there's nothing you can do. So I would say avoid purchasing the Annihilator this week. It's just not that good, especially for almost $3 million. That's crazy. For the first discount on Legendary Motorsport, we have the Dinka Jester RR for $1,034,250, and that's if you have the trade price. Now, if you don't have the trade price, it's probably going to be going for about more like $1.4 million. depending on if you have the trade price or not, and depending how much you like the Mark V Toyota Supra, it may be worth it for you. Now, some key points about this car: it does have drift tuning available for it, and it does have special liveries with the drift tuning on it as well. And it's got the missile lock-on jammer, which was added to it recently, which is pretty cool. Customization wise, it's got a lot that can be done to it because it's a tuner's DLC vehicle, so there's quite a bit that you guys can do to it if you're into customizing cars. Overall, it's a fun car to drive. It's got decent handling, good acceleration, okay top speed. It's still kind of a lot of money for $1 million, and it's certainly kind of a lot of money for $1.4 million, so I would advise you that if you're going to purchase it, at least get the trade price first, because that's going to make it a lot more worth it, in my opinion at least. But if you really want a Jester RR no matter what, then purchase it while it's on discount. There's no point in not doing that. Scrolling a little bit further, we have the Grotti Italia GTO, which is one of my favorite sports cars in the entire game. The customization on this thing is absolutely insane. It's got a lot that can be done to it, a serious amount of customization, and the secondary to primary color integration works really well on this car in particular. The Grotti Italia GTO is all-wheel drive, which is pretty nice, so that's something to keep in mind with it. Now, something that you also should keep in mind is that this is one of the fastest non-HSW sports cars in the game, but against HSW cars, it will probably lose, especially to stuff like the HSW Pinard Le Carousse, just as a quick example. But if you're on a platform that doesn't have HSW, this is still probably the #1 best sports car overall in GTA Online, other than maybe the Banshee GTS non-HSW and the Pinard Le Carousse non-HSW. When it comes to racing though, the Grotti Italia GTO is absolutely insane because it gets a massive bonus from bumps in the road. So if you're racing, for example, and you are curb boosting, this thing is going to get an insane speed boost from that. It also gets crazy speed boosts while you're in the tunnels on the stunt racing tracks. So it's very quick. Overall, I think it's a really awesome car, and I personally love the Grotti Italia GTO. If you plan to use it for racing, I would only really purchase it if you don't have HSW available in the first place on your platform. If you do have HSW available on your platform, it's still an awesome car for free mode. It's still a great looking vehicle. I think the value is there personally, but I am a little bit biased, I won't lie. So I would say, depending on how much you think you like the look of this car, the sound of this car, from how I've described it, make that decision for yourselves, obviously. But I would say I do recommend it, no matter if you're on an HSW platform or a non-HSW platform. This car is still awesome regardless, and I think it's well worth the $1,375,000. It's a very fun car to drive. Scrolling all the way to almost the bottom of Legendary Motorsport under the two-door section, we have the Ocelot Penetrator. Now this thing is by no means a performer, but it is only $616,000, which is pretty damn cheap, to be completely honest with you guys. Customization wise, there's a little bit that can be done to it. You can make this thing look a lot better than it currently looks in the Legendary Motorsport picture. It kind of looks like a catfish that might have got squished a little bit or something like that. But overall, it's actually a pretty decent car to drive. It is a supercar technically. It is all-wheel drive, I do believe as well, if I'm remembering correctly, which I think I am. It's got some spoiler options. It's got some stuff that you can do to make it look less catfish-like, if you will. Overall, if you got 600 grand and you're kind of on the fence about maybe buying it, you might want to consider purchasing it. But for the vast majority of people, you're not missing out on anything by not buying the Penetrator, and this money could be much better used going towards that Grotti Italia GTO, for example. So I would recommend, if you're thinking between the two, go for the Grotti Italia GTO. But if you got enough money, I mean, this thing is a pretty decent car, but we have a lot more vehicles to go over, so just stay tuned before you make any purchasing decisions. Over on Legendary Motorsport, under the four-door section this time, we have the Ubermacht Rebel GTS, a pretty fantastic SUV. It's got all-wheel drive, decent handling, great customization. If you're a big fan of BMW in real life, you'll probably love the Rebel GTS. You can make it look like a BMW X5 base, like you guys can see here in the screen, or you can make it look like a BMW X5M and make it really crazy, lower the suspension, everything like that. Overall, it's a very cool SUV. I think I have two of them, and I've definitely owned way more than two over the years, so I would highly recommend purchasing a Rebel GTS. It truly is an awesome car. Over on Warstock Cash and Carry, under the Kasatka, the Kraken Avisa is discounted this week by 30% off. I don't recommend it. I think it's a waste of money, so don't buy it. We have the Declasse Taxi discounted this week as well. Keep in mind, you do not need to own one of these in order to do taxi work, which is, I think, what Rockstar is trying to do, is trying to trick you into purchasing this thing. You don't need this taxi to do taxi work. If you want to do taxi work, you can get an Annis Hardy with the drift livery on it, and you can use that as a taxi. And that is significantly faster than this vehicle to begin with. Now, if you want this as just a novelty item to be able to call Pegasus and request, you can do that for sure, but I really don't recommend it because the inconvenience of it is pretty significant. So I'd say avoid purchasing this one. Scrolling further down, we have the Chernobog discounted this week for $787,500 if you have the trade price, or just over $1 million if you don't have the trade price. This thing has the longest lock-on distance of any missile in the entire game, which is pretty cool, so it should in theory be good for air defense. The missile's tracking is also decent, and it shoots 5 in pretty rapid succession, so you can get a lot of missiles after any air targets that you have. Now, the big drawback is this thing has to be completely stationary, and you also have to have the stilts deployed for the extra support so that you can get out of the driver's seat and into the gunner seat to operate it. So you're a sitting duck, essentially, is what I'm saying, which kind of defeats the purpose of the air defense capability. So I'd say if you play in a group of people and you want something to defend yourselves from the air, this thing might be a good idea, but overall, I feel like the inconvenience of it kind of outweighs anything good about it, you know, anything beneficial about it air defense wise, because it's just so inconvenient to use. So I would say to avoid the Chernobog this week, even though it is a really, really cool vehicle. I personally love it, but I don't really use mine that often, so I can't necessarily recommend you guys to get it, and I don't, honestly. Next up on Warstock, we have the Blazer Aqua, discounted this week by 30% off, going for $924,000 or $1,228,920. This thing's pretty cool. It's kind of a neat novelty item. You can use it on the water or on land, which is pretty cool. It's kind of a cool capability to have. Overall, I don't really feel like it's worth either of these prices, and I don't think you'd ever run into a need for it where it could solve a problem of yours that you're really having. So I can't necessarily recommend the Blazer Aqua. I just don't see how it's worth this amount of money. Now, if it was maybe half of this price, like if it was going for, you know, like 450,000 and like maybe 600,000, that would be a different story, but I don't think you're going to get enough value out of it to justify either of these prices, so I would recommend not purchasing it. Over to Southern San Andreas, we got the Tulip M100 discounted this week. Not a very exciting car in my opinion. It is an older muscle car. You can make some pretty cool drag racing modifications to it. Other than that though, there's not much you can do, and the driving experience is a bit less than ideal, I would say. It doesn't handle very well, it doesn't perform very well. Overall, I feel like $1,160,000, unless you absolutely love the car to begin with, is kind of a lot of money, and I would say to avoid it for most people. Again, following last week, we have the Chariot Romero hearse discounted 30% off this week, going for $31,500. It's a hearse, it's cheap. Why not? The Declasse Tornado Rat Rod, still don't recommend from last week. I don't think it's a very unique or awesome car, so I'd say don't purchase the Tornado Rat Rod, to be honest. We also have the Albany Lurcher for $455. I think if you want a cool collectible item, I feel like you can justify this price tag because these are only available at Halloween every year. So if that seems like something that you're interested in and you want it, then obviously purchase it. It's also got some livery options for it and a little bit of customization as well, which is pretty cool. Overall, $455 is not bad for a collectible item that's kind of a little bit rare in GTA Online. Over under the four-door section, we have the Albany Frankenstein discounted this week for $385,000. This thing is a four-seater, which is cool, and it's also got some more livery options, but unfortunately, absolutely zero customization options pretty much. So, not a whole lot that can be done to it. $385 though, it is cheaper than the Lurcher, and it also has a much better engine sound than the Lurcher as well. So you might want to consider the Frankenstein. It is a very cool car, and it does make a great engine sound. The Festival Bus is for sale for $969,000, and you would be crazy to buy that. Absolutely do not, please, for the love of God. And last but not least, on Southern, the LCC Sanctus is on discount, 30% off. Kind of overpriced, but it is a pretty awesome looking bike, and it is a cool Halloween collectible, so if you want it, now might be the time to purchase it. Within the casino, we have the Dinka Kanjo SJ available to be won. Interesting car. If you want it, get it, I guess. Within the car meet available to be won this week, we have the Vapid Click Wagon, and in order to win that, you're going to have to place top 5 in one LS Car Meet Series race, which is pretty easy, and it's a $1,200,000 car. So if you want to get it for free, I mean, now's a really good time to do that for sure. We also have some removed vehicles available in the car meet, the Debauchee Rapid GT for $132,000. This thing's pretty sweet. I really like the Rapid GT. It is removed. I would recommend it personally because it's so cheap, but you don't have to do that, obviously. Also have the Lampadaddy Pagal here for $400,000. This is a pretty neat car as well. A little bit of customization, which is kind of cool. Overall, it's decent. 400K is kind of a lot for it, but if you want it, it's there. We also have the Vapid Hustler for $625, which is a crazy amount of money to me, so I would not recommend the Hustler. I think it's way too expensive for the money. And last but not least, we have the HSW test ride this week, which is the Grotti Italia GTO Stinger TT, which is actually known as the Grotti Stinger TT now. I keep stumbling over my words there because that's literally what the name of this car used to be. So long. Anyway, how much is this thing going for this week? Let's see. 4.1 is crazy. Yeah, I would not recommend that. That's insane. Within the salvage yard, these are the vehicles that are available to be stolen. We have the Bravado Greenwood for completing the Gangbanger robbery, and we also have the Benefactor Schlagen GT in here as well as the Invitero Coquette D10. Now for the D10, you're going to have to complete the Duggan robbery, and for the Schlagen GT, you're going to have to complete the cargo ship robbery, but of course, none of them are claimable, so don't worry about keeping them. The priority file within the Garment Factory is going to be the Brute Force file this week. Within Simeon's, we got a couple vehicles available in here. We have the Declasse Tulip, which is one of my favorite muscle cars in the game. I really like this thing, but it is a little bit on the expensive side, going for $700 and almost $40,000. Kind of crazy to me. It is 4 doors. It does have some nice customization, but overall, kind of hard to justify it, especially with the advanced handling flags that make it a little bit more undrivable at speed. So I'd not recommend getting that. We also have the BF Craptor here. Do I need to say more? I mean, it's 3-wheeled. It's terrible. It's a terrible piece of shit, so don't buy it. Got the Chariot Romero hearse here, as I mentioned earlier. We also have the Frankenstein and the Declasse Tornado Rat Rod, which I've all talked about. So we're done at Simeon's. At Luxury Autos, we have basic regular traffic. We got the Yosemite 1500 and the D5 Coquette. So yeah, awesome. Alright guys, and the gun van location today is just below the sawmill, as you guys can see right here, but it will move if you're not watching this the day that it comes out. However, the guns in here will still be the same. Within the gun van, we have the precision rifle, the compact EMP launcher, the tactical SMG, which everybody should own. The shocker is also available, which previously was a special weapon that you got for completing a set of objectives last Halloween, but now you can just buy it, so I'd recommend that. The Widowmaker's in here, the Up and Atomizer's also in here, great weapon to have, and the Unholy Hellbringer, which is also a great weapon to have. So I would recommend those. We have grenades, tear gas, and proxies, and body armor is of course 10% off at the gun van as usual. As far as time trials go, your RC Bandito is going to start at Construction Site 1, your Junk Energy is going to be Sewer System. Your HSW time trial is going to be Sandy Shores to La Puerta, so this is going to start right here, and it's going to end down right by the scrapyard down here. And of course, your regular time trial is going to be Vinewood Hills. So there you guys have it. That has been it for what to buy and what to avoid this week in Grand Theft Auto Online. If you guys enjoyed the video or if you learned something, consider dropping a like and subscribing if you guys are new. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, take care. Peace.